This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I am being joined by the Chief Boxing Officer of the World Boxing Super Series, Mr. Kalle Sauerland. How are you, mate?
Hello, KUGAN. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. Where in the world are you?
I am in a location to be determined. No, I'm in Hamburg, Germany. Sunny Hamburg today. Doing very well.
Well, England's sunny as well today, by the way, so...
We're getting a good run of it. I'm just waiting for that big thunderstorm, though, because it's sweltering up here. The English team have kicked off great, and, you know, the Germans didn't do so good yesterday, but when it comes to football, I am 100% English, so even when we're losing. So, yeah, bit of a smug smirk on my face today in Germany.
But big game on Friday.
Big game Friday.
Scotland.
Big game Friday.
Yeah.
I'll be speaking to Josh Taylor before that.
Right, Kalle, we have been wondering for quite some time what was the latest with the World Boxing Super Series. I've asked you in countless interviews, but we are in a position now where you can...
and we are back, baby. We are back, KUGAN. We are back. And listen, thank you for all the patience. You know, I know it's a tournament. It's not a fight. It's not as simple as you can in a pandemic to put on the, you know, I think we did a great job last year with putting on the final, which was the first big world title fight between the number one and the two of the divisions with obviously Breeders' Dortigos in the pandemic. We got that over the line, finished season 2, and now it's time. We are back. Season 3 is formally announced here on IFL TV. It is the Super Featherweights, and it is for the first time ever this historic announcement in the women's boxing category. So we are super happy. It's something we talked about since our inauguration, and I think, you know, the sport of women's boxing has come on leaps and bounds over the years. I've been involved in that sport 2 decades. 2 decades ago, promoted Cecilia Breck, who's now obviously a pound-for-pound legend. And it's just, you know, it's all culminated in this moment. And I think that this is not only a boxing announcement, it's a sports announcement. It's a historic announcement because it is the opportunity for the women to really step up on a platform. And I know there's been some fantastic fights over the last couple of years, especially in lockdown. If you think about, you know, the Pursoon fight with Katie Taylor, you think about Natasha Jonas, Terry Harper. But what, for me, the personal ticking moment was sitting ringside in Manchester and watching Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas, and it just clicked. It was like, man, this is, you know, it's on a massive, you know, obviously the Sky box office platform, but this is fantastic sport. This is and the depth. So it's all culminated in this moment today with this announcement, and just feel ecstatic about it. And it's great that the World Boxing Super Series is back, but this is something that we're going into uncharted territory. You know, we're putting the women who have done so great in this sport over so many years now on that level, and I think it's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Kalle, I'm assuming in assembling your cast for this tournament that you were dealing with less egos. So was it easier to put this together compared to the men's or not?
No, I mean, first of all, KUGAN, this is the, you know, traditional WBSS style. This is the starting shot. So the shots fired today. We've obviously had our discussions with all sorts of promoters, as always. All promoters welcome. This is, you know, I always said the United Nations of boxing. Work with all promoters, managers, agents, whatever it is to get this done. It's about getting the right blend, and it's such a global sport, women's boxing, and it fits to what we do. You know, you've got some great fighters in the mix. You've got some great Latinos. You've got some great Americans. You've got some great Germans, Scandinavians. You know, there's a range, French, so there's lots and lots of different names. And yes, of course, we're not silly. We've held many promoter discussions, but we have not signed a single fighter at this point. It's the starting shot. We never do it before. We announce the weight class. We let everyone come forward and have that chance. So this is not, they're making the announcement and there's no chance for me to get in there. Come forward. We're looking for obviously the best in that division, open to the names in the division above, open to the names in the division below, people who feel they can make that weight, characters, champions. We want it all. It's not just the best against the best, which is so important to us, but it's also about getting, maybe some young fighters who are on the way up, and also a blend of the seasoned champions. That final 8 will be tough, because there is talent depth is massive. And I've always said it, women's boxing has been fantastic for decades. I remember Regina Halmish, in the 90s, late 90s in Germany, 10, 15 million viewers, the first multi-million-dollar female boxing star. You then went on and you had Cecilia Brækhus, you've had, obviously Katie Taylor in recent years. There's so many names, go back to Jane Couch, and, there's the stories of Nicola Adams, and there's so many fantastic stories. But what always for me was missing a bit was the depth. And now when we looked at it and we're like, oh, not only that is that a division where you could pick the 8 like that, but there's probably 10, 11 names that out of that division. But then you've got names that will come down from above and will come up from below. And the blend of tournament that we're going to put on is going to be red hot. It's going to be have a very global feel to it. It's not going to be sort of one, unique market that we're after. There's so many different types of, fighters from different countries, and it is about, also putting together the best characters in the sport as well. So it's got a fantastic narrative to it, and I think, with all due respect of everything that's happened in female boxing before, I think this just simply, as it has done with male boxing, it will do the same with female boxing and take it to another level. We look at, the likes of Josh Taylor, just gone on and become, for me, a top 3 pound for pound star on the back of winning the World Boxing Super Series. You look at Usyk, what he's gone on to do for the World Boxing Super Series. You look at Inu, see what he's gone on to go on from the World Boxing Super Series. You look at Myris Bridis unifying the cruiserweights, Callum Smith, propelling him to a platform, took him from being a non-world champion to a unified world champion to fighting in the biggest fight of his life against Canelo after the tournament. So you see the platform of making the stars out of people that before maybe were more fringe fighters, and it puts a platform available now for the women to go and do exactly the same thing. And let's face it, women's top boxing has been doing great without us. It's been doing fantastic. If you look at the highlights of lockdown, you've got to say, top 10 fights, 3 of them are women, female fights. So it's the depth is there, the quality is there. We're buzzing, ready to go. And if you're interested, call us direct. Get your manager to call, your agent to call, your promoter to call, and no place has been taken as yet. All 8 places are available, and the lights are back on.
Kalle, so in this situation here, which I had no idea that you had no name secured. This is how the kind of the way you do this. But is it a case of, yes, come to us if you want to put someone forward, but are you not actively going out to seek people out at the same time as well to be in this?
I mean, obviously, once again, we've done the same thing, whether it was the bantamweights, the super lightweights, the cruiserweights, the super middleweights. It was, the same formula. We do something in boxing that's very special. We do something that, has that je ne sais quoi. And So that was a bit Del Boy. But that moment of the platform, you know, of that raising the R-League trophy and that quest for the R-League trophy, that's something that has done things to careers that I don't need to sell anymore. Season one, I need to go out there and explain it. People thought, you know, what's in his tea? Yeah. I mean, what is in this fella's tea this morning? You know, he's sitting there talking about a Champions League style tournament. Right. Okay, Kalle. Yeah. Right. Jog on. Now it's a bit, it's a calling card, isn't it? You know, it's there, you know, for people to propel themselves, and exactly what it's done for the males, it will do for the females. And that's something that, you know, I think it's very, very exciting.
Can you give us any information about the broadcast situation for this?
Look, you know, obviously the last seasons have been on the zone in the US, great partner, and in discussions with them, but we're open also, you know, to new partnerships. So it's a moving market, of course. You know, that's something that the commercial division does. It's a bit different to a traditional boxing promotion company. So I'm there for the sport. The decisions are always taken at board level, and you know, I think that especially in the day and age of seeing the rise of women's boxing, and you see the popularity of it, you know, and if I look at a couple of announcements made in the last few days, especially in the UK, you see the importance of female boxing, you know, the importance of women's sport in 2021, by the way, yeah. And that is something that I think there's I don't think there's a broadcaster on planet Earth that wouldn't be interested. So it's, you know, and once again, it will come down, of course, as it always does in boxing, which markets, which fighters are coming from which markets. So obviously, those markets are a bit more special. But I think, you know, it's a global tournament. So, you know, the reach of the World Boxing Super Series last time was in over 122 countries, I believe. Yeah. So that's going to be, you know, similar. We're looking for that reach. It's a global tournament. We've always said that. Look at the finals we've had in, you know, obviously in Moscow, in Jeddah, Munich. I forgot where the other ones were now. Lost for words for once. But London and those, Tokyo. Sorry, now I've got more. And, you know, the 6th episode or edition, let's say, because it's season 3, but it is the 6th Muhammad Ali trophy that will be raised, will be, again, on a very, very global scale. And that's the important part, you know, that's the important part. That's the difference to sort of sitting in your own backyard, defending your title 3 times a year, la-di-da, maybe have one of those 3 fights as a spectacular fight, and that, you know, pushes you a bit more. And that's all good. That's not what we do here, though. You know, you have the 3 fights within that calendar. You know, we'll start in Q4, you know, traditional WBSS style. Always depends a little bit on the broadcast demands and things like that, but around that September-ish time. And that's, you know, that's launches it straight away into the narrative of a tournament. And that's the great part. I mean, think back to season 1 with when you had Eubank Yildirim in Turkish Stuttgart, I'm going to call it. You know, him walking out with a Union Jack and doing a job on Yildirim in 2 rounds and forgetting that he was in this sort of welcome to hell Galatasaray atmosphere. And a week later, you had in Wembley, you had Jamie Cox fighting the world champion George Groves. And you knew that those 2 were going to fight together in a massive domestic fight in the semi-final. That's the narrative style of a tournament. That's the difference between when one goes out and promotes events, and you know, so many great events happening in boxing at the moment, and you know, in all weight classes, and boxing's doing great. But this is a narrative that is a bit different, and as we've seen so far, it's always delivered, and it will deliver. You know, we're very proud of the fact that we've won, you know, Fight of the Year, Knockout of the Year. We had 2 fights as in the top 5 fights of the year. So that's what it's about. It's not about being, you know, promoter of the year and other awards they give away in boxing. It's about those are the ones we want. Fight of the year. We want, you know, that. That's an award to be proud of. To win Promoter of the Year, done that a few times, lovely. It's great for the ego, helps on a Monday morning. But really, the one you want is Fight of the Year. And by the way, we got 2 of them. Yeah, we got 2 of them. So on the amount of shows we do, so you work out the percentage ratio. Let's say a promoter does 30 shows a year. We only do half a dozen to 10 shows, but you know what you're getting. And that's a special recipe, which, by the way, isn't that secret. It's not like a secret sauce. It's when you put it on a level and it's a pick and fights. And I think that this will be the strongest WBSS in terms of pick and fights from the quarterfinals on. If you wanted to be pushing me, KUGAN, you're in a good mood this morning, not pushing me with any silly questions that I've seen you doing with other people recently. So you're being very nice to me this morning. There's no, sort of sharp questions. But if you wanted to ask me a sharp question, you say, well, a couple of the quarterfinals in recent years, they've been a little bit one-sided. Well, I'll tell you something. This will be the strongest quarterfinal lineup you will have seen in the history of the WBSS. So we're going up. We're shifting up a gear. And you'll see the quarterfinals will be smoking. I will give you the aim for me is being in charge of the sport will be to create matchups in the quarterfinals which are on a level betting basis. That's the aim.
Okay.
Came up with that now, actually, Kug. So let's talk. If I deliver on that, let's have a look. Let's see if Kalle can deliver on that.
Couple of things here. First of all, you said it now, so yes, we will see how that pans out. Secondly, of course, I'm going to be nice to you because this is an announcement interview. It's almost like I'm just giving you the floor to talk about whatever.
I need to give you these exclusives, or else, Kug, I'm going to get all these nasty questions off you.
No, but see the next interview we do next week. Watch what happens to you in that.
I can't wait. By the way, I'm going on holiday for a few weeks, Kug, so I'll text you when I'm back, yeah?
Kalle, just a couple more things about this. Just a timeline, really, of when you ideally would want it to commence. And also, is there a possibility that you could have another weight class running alongside it?
It's not something we've ruled out. It's just, we've wanted to get something out there for a long, long time, and the targets keep on moving, and it is frustrating. It is, once again, it's not an event; it's a season. So when you talk about Corona and pandemics, we can't just look at one location. Yeah, we look at all sorts. And the last time we had to solve the final with taking a Latvian fighter against a Cuban American and put them in Munich in a studio. So we're there for solutions. But we're also mindful of the fact that we bring the biggest show in boxing. There is no bigger show in boxing than ours. And you saw in the final, we had more lights ever than in any other indoor television production in that final. That we broke a world record on that. So you've got to imagine how tricky it's been to get to this place. You can feel my elation today. Yeah. My elation. But this morning I put out some tweets saying, today is the day. And everyone's messaging like, oh, it's this fight or that fight being made. And I'm just thinking, no. So I put a second tweet out. This is about the beginning of an adventure to greatness. And still people are thinking about a single fight. Hey, come on, get it. An adventure. We're going on another ride. We're going on the WBSS ride, my friends. That's an adventure, not a single fight. We're going over a season, the storylines, the craziness, the dramas, Hopefully we'll stick away from some of the dramas soon. But at the end of the day, it's all about finding the greatest super featherweight in women's boxing. And that's what we're doing.
When do you want this to start?
As I said, Q4, it's not really a Kalle decision. I'll get those fighters wrapped up very quick.
In the summer, though, yet?
Say again?
In the summer or into autumn?
No, the start will be in autumn. It will definitely be in the autumn. First of all, don't forget the type of production we have, but also the type of fights we have. they'll need minimum, between 8 and 12-week camps, depending on the type of fighter it is. Yeah? So you're talking, sign them up. We have to go through our traditional gala process as well and things like this. So yeah, the autumn, it'll be on in the autumn, and that's so we're sort of on our normal calendar with the autumn, and then the semis at the beginning of the year and the finals in in late spring, early summer. That's the thing. So that's also the nice thing for the fighters. They get those fights guaranteed within a certain amount of time. It's a tough schedule, so there'll be some that look at it and think, "Oh, it's not for me," and But in the end, the people who've been attracted so far to the tournament, it's great working with all these super athletes, but they've all got something, have had a fantastic ride in it. Even if they've lost, I don't think there's anyone who has anything bad to say about WBSS. They've all had a super time, and I think they've all benefited massively in their careers. So looking forward to doing that again.
Okay, well, Kalle, appreciate your time this morning / afternoon. We look forward to further updates, which I'm sure will be thick and fast. Is that the right term?
Thick and fast, yeah. Fast and furious, I like, but yeah, thick and
fast and furious.
Fast and furious.
Yeah, no, all jokes aside, we'll do another catch up in the next sort of 7 to 10 days, and
absolutely
have Kalle's Corner with a lot to speak about in boxing.
Absolutely, looking forward to it, Coog.
Thank you very much, Kalle Sauerland.
Enjoy the weather, people. We are back. The WBSS is back.